They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate. Right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Hello and welcome to the Farmer's Kitchen. We're the farmers. And what is this?
Our kitchen.
It's our kitchen.
That's right.
Ms. Farmer, are you hungry tonight?
I'm always hungry, thank you.
You know what, I was thinking earlier about, we had fried chicken a couple weeks ago. Then we had some duck. And you know, you'll never ever run out of recipes, but I started thinking about my old buddy Raul and some of his recipes that he did so many times in years past were so good. He almost always used wine or bourbon or maybe some brandy or some sort of alcohol in his creations, and it just adds such depth and flavor. So tonight we're gonna use a red wine and we're gonna use some brandy. If you have to have a replacement for that, something that I very often use or recommend is a red wine vinegar with beef broth.
Good idea.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's good.
And that almost adds that depth of flavor that you need
Right.
with a red wine or something like that. But this is how Raul would do his chicken. If I knew what Raul was doing, I'm gonna do a chicken recipe that he would do. Everything he did was so flavorful, so delicious. Okay, we're gonna start off with about 3 pieces of bacon.
Yummy.
We've got that cut up.
You can't go wrong with bacon.
You
can you?
cannot. Now, I am not going to put this on a real high heat, but I basically want the flavor and the fat
Yummy.
for this particular recipe. And then I'm going to end up using the bacon pieces at the end of the recipe.
Ooh, if I don't eat them all, right?
Hey,
Try not to eat them.
so many times I've been inspired by my old buddy Raul. You know, I've been surrounded by great cooks my whole life. Raul was an exceptional fellow from France who had a restaurant in Casablanca. Every time that I'm in the kitchen and I'm thinking about Raul, we turn on cue, hey Joe, cue the French cafe music. See?
There you go.
There we
Perfect.
go. And now Raul is with us. A little while ago, you were bringing this picture down, and I heard a piece of music. I asked him what his favorite piece of music was. That piece came on.
Uh-oh.
I said, Nikki, do you hear that? So I think Raul is with us tonight. And that's the great thing about food. Whether it's your mother, your father, your grandparent, your aunt or uncle, or a friend who cooked something and did it their way.
Good memories.
Good memories.
That's right.
Something about your old factories, you know, you remember those smells,
right.
they lock in,
That's
and it
right.
triggers memories. So here's our beautiful bacon,
That looks nice. Let me get your pan.
if you will. Nice and
Ooh,
brown.
I'll try not to taste that. I probably should try one.
Yeah, hey now, remember
Make
I
sure.
need some
I know
of
you
this
need
for
it at
later.
the end.
So we're gonna set aside some things, and we're gonna try to use this one pan as much as we can, Nikki.
So when you do
So when I'm
dishes
cleaning
later,
up,
yeah, won't be so bad.
won't be so bad.
That's very nice.
Now you know what? I found out through Raul how good food can be. Somebody who has been classically trained
Oh yeah.
in Europe. So tonight's show is dedicated to my old buddy Raul.
Oh, that's nice.
Now we're gonna take a little bit of this chicken. Let's do maybe 5 pieces,
Yeah.
6 pieces. I have pre-seasoned some flour, and I'm just putting a real light coating of flour on here.
And just salt and pepper, right?
Just salt and pepper, and a little bit of thyme. Where have we seen that before?
Yeah. That's your favorite, I think.
It is. If you look around at this recipe that we're doing tonight, there's nothing really strange or unusual. You know, you got onions and shallot and carrots and more types of onions and
Mushrooms.
and some fresh thyme and rosemary and a bay leaf. I want you to try this recipe. I want you to try some grub you've never tried before to impress your friends and just open up that part of your brain that is just willing to accept this new information and these new tastes.
Yeah.
So here we are with our chicken and a little bit of bacon grease, and I'm not going to completely cook this.
So just brown it up a little
Just going to
bit.
brown it up and get it nice and pretty. I'll tell you what, Nikki, let's go ahead and take the onions and the shallot
Okay.
and the carrots, if you will. Let's just go ahead and just dump them in there.
All right, I'll do it.
So, if you got some chicken sitting around in the fridge, and you think, okay, I'd like to do something different tonight, why don't you? You know, it's Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen, and you know, that name started before you even were on the show.
That's right.
You know, we were just doing this and that and the other. But the word country comes into play there. What country? So we're going to get these just about to where the onions start getting brown. In just a minute, we're going to take some garlic. And again, I'm not worried about the brown on the bottom of this pan. It's
You want it.
expected, and you kind of want it. These are just starting to cook. And we're not going to cook these all the way through. I'm going to probably go, I don't know, 8 minutes on this, tops, just to start cooking those carrots through a little bit and getting the onions nice and brown. All right, I'm going to move these over here, and if you will, let's take that garlic and make its own little spot. You don't want to overdo your garlic because it does tend to get bitter if you overdo it. You know, we're not on a real high temperature. It's not going crazy. I'm going to go ahead and find a little bit of olive oil over here. And I'm not scraping that off the bottom yet. All right, so now I'm going to stir that garlic in.
It's smelling awful good in here.
Smelling awful good. Now here's the kind of thing Raul would do to throw me off. You pull everything aside. He takes some tomato paste. He used tomatoes in lots of stuff.
That's interesting.
And he roll that in. We're going to use, I don't know, a couple teaspoons here.
Look like tablespoons.
Well,
They were pretty big.
tablespoons.
Those are pretty big.
And I'm just going to let that
Interesting.
start to roast just a little bit. So you smell that?
Oh yeah, it smells
See
so
where
good.
we're going?
Mhm. I do.
Now, we're going to come back in with about, I'd say a little over a cup of wine.
Yummy.
Now, I used a Pinot Noir in this. I think that's probably what he would have
Good.
used. I use a cup of chicken broth.
Yummy.
Now I'm going to
Sounds
crank this
good.
up because this has got to get to boiling here. Now, he would have probably used, if I know him, he would have used an ouzo.
Oh, my
Or
grandfather
something
liked
like
ouzo.
that.
Yeah,
he'd have done something
Got
like
some
that.
little
I'm going to put
sweet-
just a little bit of brandy in,
Ooh, yummy.
and it has a little ouzo in it.
Yeah, there you
Smell
go.
it? Now, there are various ways to make this dish. There's the 13-hour way,
Oh, there's
or
long.
there's the hour-and-a-half way.
I like that.
You like that
I
better?
like that better because I'm hungry.
Even less, actually, if you do it this way. Now, this is not by any means the coq au vin recipe, but it is Raul's way.
Yes. Makes it
And
better.
it's just flavorful. Now, at this point, you'll probably want to add some salt
You
to
got a
your
good boil.
taste.
Got a good boil going.
Got a good boil going. Let's get that. Now, remember all that stuff that was on the bottom?
You're gonna scrape it up.
It's not going to be there here in a second.
Yummy.
But it does add flavor.
Oh, I bet.
And this whole thing is about depth of flavor and the differences of flavor. And if I knew Raul, he would probably sneak some sort of jelly in there.
Oh, that's true.
I'm telling you, he was sneaky. A lot of times he'd put something, he'd look at me, and he'd have he called his cooking vest. He'd look at me and he'd sneak in his pocket.
So you didn't know what he was throwing
He'd
in
throw
there.
it in. I said, what was that? He said,
So you had different pockets of different
oh,
stuff.
and I'm just
Sugar,
telling
salt,
you.
pepper.
Yeah, I think a lot of times it was sugar or salt. Might have been some MSG, who knows? Because everything he did was magic. I'm talking just magic. Now again, most of the time that you read about people who are doing a recipe like this, they're gonna probably stick with thyme. He would probably throw some fennel in there.
I like fennel. You like your fennel.
I'm on a fennel
Nothing-
kick.
nothing wrong with
I've been on a
fennel.
fennel kick for the last 42 years.
I was gonna say your whole life.
And you know what? We're gonna put something he would have done. Some rosemary. Thyme, rosemary, and bay leaf right here. This will be our bouquet garni.
Yummy.
The main thing that's gonna take time here, we gotta get our chicken up to 165.
Right.
And we gotta make sure our carrots are done. Everything else will sort itself out. But look what we got going on there.
Looks delicious.
Isn't that beautiful?
Smells delicious too. I'm ready.
We're gonna turn that down just a little bit. We're gonna take these beautiful pieces of chicken.
Ooh, so they're gonna cook in there.
I like thigh. Yeah, it's gonna finish because it's not completely done cooking. So we're
Yummy.
gonna finish the chicken and finish the carrots, and all those tastes are gonna become acquainted, as my grandpa
Yummy.
used to say. So I'm gonna crank that down just a little bit more because we just want that to simmer for the next 20 minutes.
That's pretty.
What do you think?
Looks good.
All right,
Delicious.
Let's cover that up. Now let's get our potatoes started. Okay, I started thinking, you know, what do we need starch-wise? We could do this on noodles, we could do it on rice, but you like potatoes.
I do like them.
And I thought, man, if we had something smoky to go along with this.
Yummy.
So we thought,
Scalloped potatoes.
or in this case, because we're putting some smoked Gruyere,
What are you gonna call them?
they will have to be au gratin. Or we're doing everything just like you would do. Oh, would you look
Wow,
at that?
that's looking delicious.
Would you look at that?
That's beautiful.
So we just got a sneak peek at what we're doing here. I'm gonna turn this down
It's looking
just a
good.
little bit.
Perfect.
Oh,
Yummy.
so tell me that that doesn't look beautiful
It looks very beautiful.
and smell
I know,
wonderful.
it smells amazing. I'm excited.
And Riley would have probably put some red currant jelly in there.
You could.
He probably would have. I would never do something like that.
Never.
So back to our potatoes.
Okay.
So we've cut them on the mandolin.
You did very
They are
nice.
scalloped.
That's right. And I'm gonna kind of.
So we're gonna put those
Layer
in there
here.
layer-wise. Now, we're not putting cheese in between the layers. The original recipe that we're doing here, without the cheese, is just layering the potatoes and then putting a little onion on top of that.
Onion, a little
Do
flour.
about 3 layers. On each layer, we'll take a little bit of flour and we'll take some butter, and all that'll mix up while it's cooking. And then we'll put cream on top of that.
Salt and pepper.
Onions, salt and pepper,
I need your salt and pepper guy.
flour,
This side's going a little low.
butter.
More butter.
Then you can use milk. We're gonna use heavy cream.
I'm glad you said that. Is this
We're
warm?
gonna cover that up. We're gonna cover these up just about to the top. Put them in the oven at 375 for about 40, 45 minutes. We're gonna cover those to begin with. Then we're gonna take our scalloped potatoes and then turn them into potatoes au gratin.
There you go.
Just putting cheese on them. Or they could be scalloped potatoes with cheese. Are we
You can call
breaking
'em whatever.
rules?
You can call them whatever you want.
You can call them whatever you want. You want to take a
Well,
peek at
I-
the chicken again? Look how pretty. Oh, it's
it's looking
beautiful.
good.
Look
It's
at that.
looking good.
Oh my.
We just kind of warm that up a little bit. Heavy cream. Yummy.
Until it gets right up to the top.
I think I have about 2 cups in there, but whatever. That might be about perfect. All right, cover with foil.
We've been looking for a quick yeast bread recipe. Now we love
Yes.
our yeast rolls. But I thought, man, if we could really work something out here, we could, in a half hour, instead of letting stuff rise all day long, so on and so
Or
forth.
overnight. Right.
Exactly. So we found something, and you got to use quite a bit of yeast.
Yes, you do.
But man, you talk about good and, easy.
Fast.
And speaking of fast, we got to get this thing going because
All right.
we're coming together here.
All right, so I have my cup and 2 tablespoons of water. I have a 1/3 cup of, I used olive oil.
Gotcha.
Put that in there.
If you see us using oil, 9 times out of 10, it's going to
It's
be
olive.
olive oil.
1/4 cup of sugar.
Gotcha.
And now I think the secret to this is 2 tablespoons of yeast. That's a lot of yeast.
That is a lot of
We're
yeast.
gonna put that in here, mix it up. Sounds like our oven's ready. You can see for now it's just kind of like it would normally look. We're gonna let this set 10 minutes and this is gonna grow.
I can dig it. All right, so that's my potatoes cooking.
I do.
This is a little bit of heaven right here going
It
on
is.
right now.
You love that.
And your bread is going crazy.
Did you see what this did? I mean, it's
unreal.
grown. So we're gonna now bring it over to the
I
mixer.
need to slide this back.
Yep, pull that back. And I have my bread mixer on here. So Russ is gonna do most of it for us. See how that doubled in size?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm gonna close it down and we are gonna lock it and put it on just stir. I'm gonna add a teaspoon and a half of salt,
I tell you what,
1 egg.
I love the yeast breads, but I don't think we found anything this quick and this easy. Knock
That's
on
so
wood.
good.
Hope it doesn't mess up tonight.
Yeah. Now I have got 3.5 cups of bread flour here, and I'm just gonna keep adding in slowly.
Bread flour. You can
Bread
find
flour.
it anywhere.
It's the best. You could use all-purpose, but I really think the bread flour does a lot better. You can use the bread flour.
Imagine using bread flour for a bread recipe.
Yeah. How odd.
Who would do that? I'm so excited about the bread.
I know.
And the chicken looks amazing, and potatoes look amazing.
You're hungry, aren't
You
you?
know, tonight we didn't even make a dessert because this was a pretty in-depth recipe. But when it all comes down to it, this is the main thing. We got a side going here. You got your slice of bread. I'm talking beautiful stuff here.
The bread's your dessert. It's nice and sweet.
How much flour?
I got 3.5 cups here.
3.5 cups.
Yeah. Go ahead and turn it up 1 notch now. It's kind of getting there.
Whoa, whoa,
Hello.
whoa.
All right,
gonna jump
done.
off the counter.
It's done. It's good.
It's done?
Go ahead. Let me do this.
See, this bread thing, man, I don't mess around with the baking. I do the meat and potatoes. I'm just amazed.
But you'll eat it, won't you?
No, I'm amazed by the process and so glad that that's your thing.
All right. There's our bread.
Because there's like math and science involved in baking.
I'm gonna put a little bit of flour on this so I can work with it a little. And you know what? You're good at shaping. When we made bread earlier, I think you're gonna be our bread shaper.
All right,
So
I'll shape it.
I'll let you be the person to decide what you want.
I think it's beautiful.
And we're just gonna let these set for 10 minutes, and they're actually gonna grow a little bit.
And they don't have to be perfect. I mean, if they're not perfect, then it's artisan bread.
There you go. Beautiful. Good job.
Just like that. We're getting towards the end, Nikki.
I know. I'm excited.
Close to a really good dinner here. So we're gonna put some olive oil in there. We're gonna take these mushrooms.
Yum.
We're gonna saute these up. Just put a little salt, a little pepper. You know, you never know how something you say or something you do can affect another person when they're in their, stage in life where
Right.
you don't really know where you're going, they don't know what you're doing. I bet you Raul never knew that he had inspired me to want to make the best food I could possibly make. I wonder how
That's
many
true.
other people he inspired along the way.
If he's that great of a chef, I'm sure a lot of people ate
Nikki,
his
I
food.
can't even tell you. He would take a piece of bread. It didn't matter what he did. I don't know if he had magic dust in his pockets or what, but he'd bring you like a breakfast sandwich he'd made, or just like a piece of bread with some sort of jelly or something.
It was
on
sugar. He put sugar on everything.
I don't know, but it was just everything he did was
Really
magic.
good.
I believe we're there.
Beautiful.
You don't want them done.
Right. A little bit of crunch to him.
You've got 4 minutes on the bread.
All right. Take a break.
Okay. All right, let's take another peek at this.
Oh, wow. Yummy. Yummy.
Do you smell that?
I do.
Now, this is just kind of magic. Mm-hmm. I just got to say that the smell is just absolutely wonderful. I bet you Raul would be proud, and I bet he would approve, because I know how he cooked things and the smell that was involved with that process. Okay, so let's take a look at this.
Okay.
Now, what do we want to do? We want to thicken that up just a little. So, a little trick that Raul did, it was butter and flour, equal parts. And we made a little ball there. It's called beurre Meunier.
And I actually played in it and got all dirty.
And
Made
so
that
he
for you.
would take a pinch off something I noticed when he was making the sauces, and he would just plop it in here.
So he kept this in his fridge.
Yes,
He made it and just,
yes.
that's really interesting. I like that. That's a
Beurre
great idea.
Meunier. And that's butter and flour. And that's what he would use as a thickener. Now watch what this does. You know, without having big clumps of flour, the butter
yeah.
melts with, see how it's
Wow.
lightening things up? And all that is butter and flour.
Wow.
We're gonna take our mushrooms, bring them over
Yummy.
here, because they're looking lonely
Yes, they
by
are.
themselves. That's gonna add just a
Oh,
little
yeah.
more depth and that earthiness. That's just gonna be so wonderful. Scoop up that last little bit, if you will.
Well,
Now look at what we got. Look at the consistency of that. These are pearl onions. Oh, look at that, Ms. Farmer.
that looks really good. Amazing.
Let me think. I got one more step to gently place
Chicken back in.
our chicken back in here. And this is 212 degrees. So even though I washed my hands last Thursday, we don't have to worry about that.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna put that top back on. I'm gonna turn it back down because we're where we need to be.
Getting close.
Bread's getting brown.
Ooh, yummy.
In a minute, you're gonna see something magic. It all came together.
Potatoes look amazing.
I always get nervous right at the last minute. All right, let's take a look at this. Oh,
Ooh, yum.
look at this. I got to be careful. I don't want to mess my chicken up. It's
Yeah.
too beautiful.
That is pretty chicken. You did good.
Let's get some of
Some of the
the
sauce.
side gigs out here. That
Yum.
sauce is so amazing.
It's almost like stew. It's so good. Like a little stew around it.
It's just a slow cooked situation
Yummy.
that can't be beat. You know what we need on here with that?
What?
Slice of bread.
I can do it.
Slice of fresh bread with butter on it. I'm gonna take a little bit of this bacon, put on top of here. Remember our bacon?
Yes.
Mrs. Farmer, you ready to dive in?
I am after all this hard work.
I'm interested. I'm gonna see where your fork goes.
I want to try carrot.
Huh.
Oh, that sauce is amazing.
Isn't that something? Now you can't do that in 10 minutes.
That's really good.
It's gotta cook a while.
So good. Oh, wow.
Mmm.
A little bit of potatoes.
Here's our starch over here. Ooey gooey.
Oh, it's good. It is so cheesy.
Is it hot?
Yeah, it's delicious though. That's delicious.
That's so good. It's so simple. When you take things like onions and potatoes and put them together, and then you have the audacity to put some smoked Gruyere cheese on the top,
That is what makes
and
it.
cream and butter. Are you kidding me? Oh, the bread.
You got to go for it. Look at the butter's all melted on there nicely. Ooh, there you go.
Can I get it first?
You get to try it. I like that. We had that in 30 minutes. Yeast bread. Is that?
Wow.
That make good French toast. Let me take a bite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mrs. Farmer, what would you give it out of 10?
A 12. It was really good. This was totally different. I really loved
That's
it.
slow cooked.
I
The
want more.
wine, you can't beat it. All the flavors came in.
Delicious.
When the mushrooms at the end brought that
Oh,
little
that's
bit
really,
of earthiness
I
in.
really like the mushrooms.
It's just a special dish. And
Yeah,
if
it
you
is.
can, if you have time, and you want to impress your friends and try something a little bit different, this is a version of that recipe. And I hate to tell you this,
What?
our half hour's up.
You're kidding me.
That being said, if somebody would say to you, if you were hunting musk oxen in Greenland,
I love doing that.
and somebody walked up to you and said, Mrs. Farmer, where in the world did you get that recipe for such and such? How would I get that? You would say.
TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com.
And then if they wanted to talk with us on Facebook, how in the world would that happen?
It's really hard. You hit like.
I like the sound of that. So now, our little fun part, as we get to turn these cameras and lights off, we're gonna make a plate for Joe. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna eat this delicious stuff while it's still hot. And remember, it's all about
Good times
good friends.
and really good eats.
We'll see you next week on Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. I'm digging into that.